Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and we are back with another rack store pickup. This time I was able to find something at my local Burlington. And yes, the day has arrived. I am finally trying a really popular alternative to a much more expensive niche fragrance that I just happen to love. I talk about that niche fragrance on this channel quite a bit. So let's see if this one stacks up. The scent we are talking about is Mahir Legacy. And this is from the House of Latafa. I ended up paying, this is a huge box, I ended up paying $20.99, which I want to say is a pretty competitive price, if not the cheapest that you would typically find this one online. So as we always do, I'm going to bust this open. I'm going to get this on skin. I am going to walk you guys through what I pick up. We're going to take a look at the notes, and I'm ultimately going to let you know if Mahir Legacy is actually any good. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so here we have the presentation from Mahir Legacy, and normally, I kind of skip the box presentation because they're usually pretty boring and typical, but this one is odd. It has this really cheap feeling piece of cardboard, but on the back of it is this layer of foam, I guess to protect the bottle itself, but and then you have the bottle sitting in a nice cutout of foam inside. So yeah, you see this a lot with the Middle Eastern fragrances. This seems to be a little bit more attention to detail in terms of the overall presentation. Looks like this little bow is holding it all in. All right, I got a horse head. Yeah, let me get this out. There we go. All right, so the bottle, very heavy in hand. So I like the presentation. I mean, it's, it's not typical. It's a little different. It's a little unique. I've seen much worse from Middle Eastern houses, but the cap, super heavy. I mean, this thing is heavy along with the bottle. So let's take a look at the atomizer. Pretty good atomizer. Not too bad. Let's get this on skin. Now, as I said, I'm a huge fan of Sedley. Absolutely love that fragrance. So I might be a tough critic on this, but all right. Yeah, I'm definitely reminded of Sedley initially in the air. This has a little bit more of a greenness to it, almost like a ferniness that I don't necessarily get from the Sedley. The Sedley's a little more minty. This is a little more green fern, but it's not a bad thing. It's very aromatic. I am picking up some citrus. And there is a little bit of a synthetic undertone to it, but overall, it's pretty easy going in the air. It's nothing too harsh or synthetic. Let's see what this does off of skin. Okay, so off of skin, much different experience. Just look, I've worn Sedley a ton. The off of skin, they're completely different. What I am picking up here is that Middle Eastern twang. Without question, it has that undertone that just only Middle Eastern fragrances seem to have. And if you know, you know. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's very distracting from the rest of the scent. Now, my experience, that typically goes away with some maceration and even initial time with the scent. So maybe 5 minutes in, that might be completely gone. It might still be there. I'm not sure. Let's see how it changes. But right now, and I just on that first sniff, I'm not reminded of Sedley. More so in the air than off of the skin. But let's try again. Smells nothing like Sedley off of my skin. Now, that's also, when we're testing fragrances, maybe I'm going to, I'm going to try it off of a strip. I just happen to have strips next to me. So I'm going to try it off of a strip and see if I'm getting more off of the strip as I was getting in the air. Because I feel like this is an important first impressions, because you guys, a lot of people look to this fragrance as a total replacement of Sedley. But I'm being honest, guys, off of skin right now, it does not smell like Sedley to me. Let's see what it smells like off of the strip. Okay, so Still has that Middle Eastern twang, but what I am picking up more of off of the strip is the citrus. So that lemon, the lime. It's a little bit woody. Those aromatics are more there. So it could just be my response off of the skin, which happens sometimes. What it also is lacking a bit, and I'm going to go back to the skin really quickly. All right, so it's getting a little better. Some of that, it's that Middle Eastern twang is toning down a bit. What I am not getting is that bubbly effervescence that I get from the Sedley. It has this sort of sparkle to it, which is why I always compare it to like a Sprite, popping open a can of Sprite when you first try it. And I will do a real comparison video between Maher Legacy and Sedley. But I want to give this a little more time to settle in. Now, off of the strip, it's far better. In the air, it is far better. Much closer to Sedley than what I am getting when I put my nose up to my hand to smell it. But I will say that Middle Eastern twang, thankfully, is finally toning down. And we're maybe 2 minutes in right now. So that, for some people, it's worth that wait. You want to spray it on. Some people don't want to wait. They just want to spray it on and smell fantastic from the beginning. But I will say that was not Sedley initially. It just wasn't. Let's take a look at the notes really quickly. So the notes for Maher Legacy, top notes are lime, mint, grapefruit, lavender, and pineapple. Mid notes are black pepper, juniper berry, rosemary, geranium, and frankincense. And the base notes are ambroxan, vetiver, oak moss, tonka bean, and cashmere. So there's no question I get the sense that this fragrance is going to need time, both again in maceration and just when you spray it on yourself. It is getting better. There is still kind of just this undertone of syntheticness that I'm not crazy about, but I am starting to be able to pick out a little bit more of the citrus. There's a lot of notes. I just read a lot of notes to you guys. I'm not picking up really many of those notes. Again, maceration is a very real thing. This may be a brand new bottle. There's just something different about Middle Eastern fragrances. For a while, I thought the maceration thing is overblown, but my experience with these, they tend to get much better over time. And I'm sure that this is no exception to that. Times I would wear this. It is a very aromatic, easygoing type of fragrance. So you're going to be able to wear this pretty much in any season, but more so towards the warmer months. It's pretty versatile. It can be dressed up. It can be worn casually. Very clean, easygoing, aromatic scent with some citrus. And now, off of the strip, it's getting a little bit musky, which I really like. You have the ambroxan in here helping it give it that mass appeal, that push, that familiarity that you have with today's modern fragrances. And off of skin, it is giving me much more citrus vibes than initial impressions. So, hey guys, so quick little editor's update. I'm smelling it. It's been about maybe 45 minutes since I filmed, and I can see the comparison off of skin to Sedley. This is, to me, much more clean lavender heavy than the Sedley. The Sedley kind of has a more deeper, woodsy, musky type of element to it. So I can see the similarities. It is not a one-for-one clone, but this is much better off of my skin now. But again, 45 minutes in, it's going to come down to whether or not how long you actually want to wait to smell good. Maybe some of that will get better with maceration, as I said. But right now, this is nice. Clean lavender. Not getting a lot of that citrus that I get from Sedley, or again, that sort of sparkle. So I'm going to wear it. I'm going to talk more about it in my weekly wears video, which drop every single Monday. That's when I go over all 7 fragrances that I wore the week prior. Those 7 fragrances sitting behind me, that's last week. So I will drop that video in the description down below. But overall, I think in the air and off a strip, it reminds me of Sedley. It truly does. Unfortunately, off of my skin, it does not. So I don't know if the people around me are going to smell something similar to Sedley when it's coming off of my skin and clothes. But I will put it to the test. I will ask my wife. Maybe on one hand I'll wear Sedley, The other, I'll wear Hair Legacy, and I'll ask her if she thinks they're close. So, and I will do a respectable comparison video at some point. Would love to know what you guys think of Hair Legacy. Is this one that you absolutely love? Do you own both? Do you own both Sedley and Hair Legacy? What's your experience with it? Drop it in the comment section down below. But if you guys like content like this, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video, hit that bell notification so you are updated whenever I upload new content. But until then, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video.